The thing is, like, does he gotta like he can't leave and go to the bathroom or nothing?
No,
Like,
he got a straight talk.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd have that McDonald's cup on the side.
You probably got some
Let me pee right
depends.
quick. Yeah,
Some maybes.
He's like, this filibuster is
might
sponsored
do's.
by Tenor and Depends.
Right.
I was like, damn.
Hey everyone, I'm Ezequiel DelaRosa, and I'm super excited to be here on Minority Report. And what's brewing? What's the tea today?
Introducing Ezequiel DelaRosa.
Is Cory Booker still talking?
And Curiosity with your aunties. So get your cups ready for Minority Report.
Hey, welcome to Minority Report. It's Auntie Carell.
It's Auntie Joanne.
And it's Auntie Jarrell. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
I'm so happy to be with the aunties.
That part. And community, this has been a long time coming. We were actually joking about it before Jarrell and Dewan hopped on. Dewan and I met, but actually, let me back up before we give that story. Let me just properly introduce him. I'm about to hop all in already.
Put some respect on his name.
I know. Damn. That's my
Let's
bad.
see if you can enunciate properly.
Oh, let's see. We have the entrepreneur, the makeup artist, the owner, the editor-in-chief of Jazz Magazine, correct?
Jazz Magazine.
The photographer extraordinaire is what I like to call him, and the creative director. He has many hats, y'all. Many hats. And we actually met him last summer at the Queer 50 event and instantly knew we had to get him on here. Yeah. We have Ezequiel DelaRosa. How did I do?
Now, hands off, because you did a great job with the
Hey!
You killed it.
How you doing, boo?
Well, wait a minute. There was a little bit of gringo in that pronunciation.
Oh, but, for sure.
That's okay.
Listen, no. You know what when I, because I was born in Cuba. So when I first came to this country and I went to school and the teacher said my name in English, I was like, it was like chalkboard because she said Ezekiel. And I'm like,
it's not that.
You can call me by my second name, Armando.
I know that's right. Honestly, Carell, Jarrell, Dewan, we all have like distinct names. And so we're very particular about names because we know folks messing up names, saying the name wrong, et cetera, et cetera. So we try to be pretty particular. But my I can't roll my R's and all that stuff. And so they always kind of crack on me when I try to pronounce things because they just don't come out the way I hear it in my brain.
You know what? No, it's Auntie Shar that get on you because I can't roll my R's either.
That's true.
Okay.
That is true.
And that's just because my tongue is too big for my mouth. So the doctor said it is an actual problem. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not self-prescribed.
There we
go. I got two opinions, okay? Even in the sleep
You got
study.
a doctor's note.
Okay. Yeah.
I love it. But everyone called you Ez as well, right? Because they can't say the name.
Because, listen, after trying to get people to say my name, it's like living in Europe is like I was like, call me Ez, like the town Ez in France.
Yeah. That's right. I know. He's like Mr. International. I know that's right.
Although not gonna lie, when you said your middle name Armando, the hairs on the back of my neck kind of curled up a little bit. I was like, okay.
It's like, hey, Armando.
It sounds good. Ezequiel Armando de la Rosa.
Ooh. Okay. It's like, say it again. Say it again. But yeah, like we mentioned how we met them just in passing, really, at the Queer 50 event. And those events, a lot of times, you're just like you're running into people you know, people you're trying to meet, people you don't know, and literally you were one that stood out because we're all three of us are pretty big on just like energy and just like putting our energies towards people that we want to put around, and you can kind of get that pretty quickly, especially kind of maybe in the entertainment industry. You're like, okay, I don't want to put my energy towards that because it just ain't there. But you were one that, like Dewan and I both said, like, no, we definitely need to get him on here. And it took a little longer to plan, but I'm so grateful to have you here. And just before we kind of even get to like the photography and all that stuff, you mentioned you're from Cuba. Like, how has that formed? Just like even just an overarching vantage point in your life, in your point of view in photography and all that good stuff. Because a lot of times that foundation of where you come from is really like your secret weapon into your careers and things like that.
Well, I was raised by my mother and my sisters. I mean, my father came to the U.S. later, and I was always sketching, and they were already divorced. So, but I was always sketching, and I was very artistic. I used to, at a very young age, was sketching my teacher and designing what she should be wearing, as opposed to what she would be wearing.
You said that ain't it. Let me make something new for you.
So for me, life has always been about fashion. I don't know, baby, I can decorate. I can do anything that's creative. That's just what's in my nature. But coming from Cuba, the one thing that really was something that was in my heart, especially when I went back as an adult, is that as hard as it is here, we can still create, we can still fight for our future. Okay. At least till now.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Because by the time this airs, it might be a whole other life.
That.
no, baby, we're not going to let that happen. Okay.
You're right.
That's right.
You absolutely right. I got that fighting spirit, so you're right.
So the fighting spirit is what really I take from that,
Okay.
and one thing that it's always like been very like in my adulthood, like I never realized how my father, how much how I admired him until after, because I grew up in Jersey, right? So
Okay.
Jersey, it was in a Cuban community. So, and Cubans are racist as shit, but they don't, but they don't, racist in another way. I don't know how to explain it, okay?
Yeah.
But so it wasn't the Brooklyn racists, okay? So
There's different levels to this.
different levels, okay, different ways. So it wasn't until later on how I admire, like I said, wow, my father really did a lot. Because let me tell you, a black man came into the U.S. and not speaking English very good, okay?
Yeah.
And he opened up a fruit market, supermarkets, and all that stuff, and furniture stores. And when I look back at it, I'm like, damn, how long he was in the country and he couldn't even speak English, and he still did it. So
That hustle spirit.
the hustle.
You got to make it. Yeah.
You got to make it. So it's like when I think about it, it's like, look, you at least speak English.
You said at minimum I can speak English. It's like I guess I can make it another day then.
I can make it another day. I can make it another day. So
That's right. We're like I guess your father was kind of the hustle spirit. Was he fashionable? Was your mother fashionable? I guess where does that creativity come from?
my father was very artistic in the music. He could play any instrument. He could sing. Child, I did not get that. I can dance.
Yeah.
But you don't want to hear me sing. You don't want to see me play an instrument. I could cut a rug, but
Got it.
But my nephew got it, thank God.
Oh, really?
It skipped me, but
This gets generations.
yeah. So, and he was always very stylish. My father came from a family like he was a child with a golden spoon in Cuba. I mean, listen, that was in Cuba, not here. Okay.
Right.
So, he was very small. So he always liked to dress in suits and all that stuff, and always, liked to take care of himself. But so.
Okay, Dad.
And my mom always, they're all. I have to say they were stylish.
Yeah. So it was just a teacher that was assigned. You're like, okay, I'm gonna make her an outfit, but my parents are all right.
Please, my parents were totally okay. They got it going on.
Yeah, yeah. And so then, how did that morph into photography? Like, when did you always knew you have a passion in photography?
Oh, you want the tea?
I want the whole tea,
Okay.
nothing but the tea.
Now let me tell you. So I started design. We're gonna go. Let's go back.
Yeah, let's take it
Let's
back.
go back when I was a child. Okay, so I actually used to design women's wear at a very young age.
Okay.
And I started doing shows and everything in my hometown in Union City, New Jersey. And then I did a show in New York at Magique that then later on became Chippendales that was on First Avenue and 61st Street. Ain't there no more.
Wait, hold on. Let's pause for a second. Were you a Chippendale?
No, it wasn't a Chippendale. It was before that. It was Magique.
Okay. Got it. I was like, okay, that's where you cut them rugs at. Okay.
That's another story. You know, we'll go into that one later. But then I did a whole collection. Actually, and you know Miss J, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm, Miss J.
Well, Miss J actually, because I started going on out when because I was a good kid, but I loved to dance. So I started going out, and I met Miss J in Xenon, and we became friends. So I closed the show with Miss J in a wedding dress.
Okay.
Here for
Okay.
it.
Okay.
And then these two
Come on,
ladies.
breaking barriers.
You know, who knew I was so progressive back then?
You just said, I like what I like.
I'm like, this is it. This is happening. You know, baby can twirl. So, so then these two women bought like most of the collection, and they wanted to invest money. So I said, "Oh, great! Oh, they want to open up a shop and all this stuff." So great, let's open up a shop. I opened up a shop. Beautiful. I designed it and everything. I must have been like 18 or something like that.
Wow.
And I go wash the company car. Child, I lift up the ashtray. There were heaps of money under the ashtray.
Oh, she with the mob.
Like, one thing you know about me, I don't do anything illegal. I got to answer to God.
That's right.
So I
right.
called my lawyer and said, okay, I need to get out of this. Because
Wow.
when you find that much money under the ashtray in the car, I said, no, I'm out. So
wow.
going
Dewan's like, hold on.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to piece this together. So the arrangement that you had, was it that they had a store and then you were
No. I rented a store and everything they made a corporation, everything. So I designed the store, it was super cool.
But then how did you end up taking one of their cars to get it washed?
It was a company car. So I had
Oh, dang, they was using you for the setup.
I had a company car as well.
Okay.
Which is so when I went to wash the company car, I wasn't washing it. I went to a car wash, okay?
Right.
Right.
But you clean the ashtray and all of a sudden you see heaps of money. Well, do I take that money and go on vacation and get killed later?
Right. It's like, oh, I didn't even mean to clean this ashtray. Let me put this right on back.
So then I was devastated because imagine you work, you all do the designs, you work for construction, you get a great store, and then all of a sudden you have to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But because I used to go out a lot and I used to have hair. So everybody used to, like on the dance floor, everybody used to say, oh my God, his friends would come up to me and think I was like Mario Van Peebles. And I was like, and I didn't know who Mario was. So then all of a sudden,
I
so
can
I
kind of
didn't.
see it. It's the eyes. It's the eyes.
Well,
Okay.
then, and I've met Mario, and I mean, he's gorgeous, but his face is square, really super great guy. So then I said, oh, maybe let's try a little bit of modeling for a little bit. So I did. So I was doing this grooming book. I got booked on a grooming book that actually Mario was in as well. And the groomer was going to put on a lot of makeup, and I'm like, no, I'll do my own, right? So the photographer goes to me, can you do guys? And I said, how much does it pay? Right?
I
So
know that's right.
so I did that book, and then that finished, and then the photographer said, can you do women? And I said, how much does it pay? So that's how the whole world of makeup and hair started. Then I started testing with people and stuff like that. And then I didn't think I was going to do hair and makeup for like so many years. I was going to get back into design or whatever. So then all of a sudden okay, it's time to go to Europe. That's what you just did. It wasn't like now that you can get famous in a bathroom. You had to go and pay your
Right.
bills,
Yeah.
You have to get on a plane and do Milan. And so
which is a nice little stunt though.
Yeah.
We had to get on a plane and do Milan, darling. You know.
So, yeah, well, darling, I went to Milan with $1,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then back then you would get an agent, but you had to make your appointments. So at that point, I was doing hair and makeup then. But what happened was I get to Italy, and they always say Italians stare the shit out of people, right? Well, child, I was like, ooh, they weren't lying, because not only did they stare, but they followed me. And so it wasn't until I went to Vogue Bellezza, and I met the editor in chief of Vogue Bellezza, Roberta Marione, who she really opened up the doors for me. And she starts laughing and saying, "What the hell are you doing here?" It just so happened that there was a TV show in Italy, and I looked like the guy on the TV show. So it wasn't just that they stared; it was
Oh.
just that I looked like the guy on TV. So people
Okay.
thought that I was him.
Mario
So,
Van Peebles.
no, it wasn't.
Of Italy.
The show was never. It was off already. I never got to see the guy who was. It was like Malanotte, something like that. It was, but
You
it's
just
like,
got doppelgangers all across the globe.
so I was like, what the hell is this? So, but she really like gave me like a head start. Like she booked me,
And she booked you for makeup and hair, not just
Yeah,
okay.
and basically like I did a lot of beauty. Like before, even when I went to Europe, I went with a beauty book. I went like with beauty shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that opened up doors, and I did not sleep around. Okay, so I'm still alive.
I'm done.
Because those times were wild, okay?
Yeah.
Those times were really wild. Like I was
He
like,
said, I did not sleep my way to the top. Thank you very
Baby.
much.
I'm just letting you know, I did not sleep my way to like the top.
I can tell you are dancing around a lot of graves right now, girl. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I was on a trip to Rimini on the train with Grazia. I'm aging myself so much.
I love it.
So I am home at 10 o'clock at night in my apartment in Milan. I get a phone. Hey, how are you? Listen, want to know if you want to come by, because we're going to go to New York to shoot the campaign. We're going to fly everybody on the Concorde. And I'm like, child, it's 10 o'clock at night. I am not going anywhere.
I would have been on that plane.
Couldn't have been me.
Right, I would have been on that Concorde.
I said, chiamami domani, okay? So I never answered the phone because I'm like, no. I always like said, if I'm going to get the work, I'm going to get the work because of my merits.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, I was about to say better you than me at that at that young age. Now Carell would be like, okay, no,
No,
Yeah,
when you in less than your 30s, it's expected to make up a couple of little mistakes every once in a while.
little stumbles.
It's just part of the growing
It's like
process.
I'll do better, know better later.
I got other
right
stories.
now.
I got other stories. I got a story later on to tell you.
Ooh, okay, we want that one. We want that one.
So then,
So you're in Milan, and so it's just like all of this is brand new to you, and so you're just kind of almost learning as you go.
yeah, and there was no like
Right? No Instagram, no YouTube
and
University.
it was a big old maze. Okay, so you have to open up that thing and like get to the places. It was, trust me, but I did it
Yeah.
without Google Maps. Okay, the Italians were always really, really nice to me. And that's why I speak fluent Italian, because I didn't go to school. I learned it on the street. And I remember being at jobs and people would crack up because I would say something in Spanish that meant completely different in Italian.
Yeah,
So it's like, but you know what? Parlo italiano abbastanza bene, dai.
Close
so,
enough.
So, by the time I went to Paris, I had a client that I would always work for like every month and make good money. So it was sort of like being like a trust fund baby, So I would like, when I got to Paris, I would like, oh no, this is my rate. If I'm here to do editorial, if you want to book me for that, this is the rate. And at first they didn't understand, but it's like, I had money. I was able to open up a bank account in Paris because the money was coming from a different country, so it was fine. So that Paris was amazing. The one thing in those periods, you flew around so much, because it was like, oh, we're going to the Maldives to shoot. We're going here. It was like, it was total. And
so that passport,
it wasn't a budget.
Stamped.
It wasn't on a budget. It was like
luxury, high end, just
So they spent money.
So how did you know you could do makeup, or is it just the creativity that you already just had in you to kind of figure it out along the way?
Child, I always knew I could do hair and makeup. I always, because it wasn't just designing the clothes; it was also make the look. It was from start to finish,
Okay.
So that's how it all stemmed. And then I actually got my hair license as well, because the school wanted my name for their credentials. So I would go when I could, and the whole thing.
And it's interesting too, they kind of hearing all this too, like how you were just talking about your father. It sounds like you got the hustle spirit from your father, quite frankly. It's like, yes, it's more on the creativity side, but it's just like
from my mother. My mother's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Baby, she came here with my two sisters and I. Okay.
Yeah.
And baby, she worked. Okay.
Make it work.
She worked.
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's incredible.
Yeah. So it's like, my mom is, right now she has dementia and stuff, and she's 91 and she's still like spicy. Okay.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So and she was always really supportive and is still very supportive.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
Which is huge. So do you remember the first day you're like, I'm going to try this photography thing. I'm over this hair and makeup right now. I could be the photographer.
Baby, I wasn't over hair and makeup. Hell no. I was not. I was a glorified hair and makeup. I come in, I get, child, the money at that point was.
Oh, I'm sure.
Hello, seriously. Okay, I was not over hair and makeup. No. I did some photos of a friend of mine to show some hairstyles for, I think it was Tommy's show or something. I was trying to get that show because I would do shows. And I used a friend of mine who happened to be, a great model. And then his agency saw the pictures and they were like, oh, we want you to shoot for us. And I'm like, I ain't got time for this. and it's expensive. I'm like, no, we're gonna pay you. So I'm like, okay, well, when I have free time, because I would do Revlon, I would do Claro, I would do Ultima, I would do a lot of beauty, So one of the bookers was like, oh, you need to start shooting, because I would do it under an alias. But meanwhile, I had, and it was fun because I never did male models.
What in the 007 is going on right here, right now? Like, there are
I'm gonna just do that on the side.
there are so many tributaries. Like,
I love it.
I'm dying right now.
So, well, I did it under an alias because I didn't want, and I kept it really hush up. But meanwhile, I never worked with men because my rate was really expensive. I would only do certain jobs with men. It was mainly women. So the fun thing was that I was doing all these top male models, and there would be my photos on their comp card with Bruce Weber, Herb Ritz, and all these great. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm on the front of the card. Oh my God, and I was like, whoa, I couldn't believe it. So one time I'm like looking and like, why is my work so slow? And this booker decided, oh, I got to give him a nudge. He put my name on the com cards. And these are all top guys. Yeah. So then it was like, and I had just gotten this space, okay? I had just sold my place on the Upper East Side, and decided to move to, now you can call it Hudson Yards, but it's a garment center. But it's like, at that point, my doormen were crockheads and prostitutes because I was between 8th and 9th, okay? And maybe it was shady.
This was, give us a sense of timing. This was early 90s?
Yes, I believe so.
Things are rough on that side of town, especially in the early 90s. Things started to get a little bit more cleaned up towards the early part of the early 2000s. Still not great until maybe around 2010, 11 or whatever in that area. But in the 90s, you'll get stabbed, you'll get robbed, you'll get you'll get shit thrown at you, anything and everything goes on the west side, especially
the stories Corey would tell me now from when he moved to New York, in the early 90s. He's like, and to see it now, he's like, girl, this ain't nothing. He's like, Candyland. This is a mall now. Right.
I think
so. Are
really
you glad?
Cool.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just a comment really quickly. I think what's really cool about what you shared is that while fantastical that it seems, to be in all these really great creative spaces and have your talent recognized, I think one thing that differs from a lot of what we see today is that you're actually carrying talent. You would not be in those spaces and having the opportunities if your work wasn't of the caliber that was upper echelon and recognized as such. And so it really speaks highly of, the creative mindset that you bring to your projects, and the fact that you were able to navigate from makeup to hair to fashion to photography to all these different things. Just
I got more to share.
Oh, I'm sure. Like I said, I know you. I was picking up. You're dancing around them little skeletons, but
he dug in the weave.
Right. But I just wanted to say, it speaks to the level of creativity and your ability to execute, and also just your ability to navigate different spaces, which is a talent that not a lot of people really possess. So you can be quite talented and creative and able to do a lot of things, but if you're not able to socialize, if you're not able to network, if you're not able to sell yourself, if you're closed off to opportunities and not open to other opportunities that are outside of what you're doing right now, you can miss out.
Be a person that people want to work with
over and over and over again. These are some life lessons that a lot of folks can really get some benefit out of.
Well, and you got to know how to evolve. That's because the business is not what it used to be at all. It is a completely different business. Before, it was super glamorous, super artistic. And now it's, so I don't even want to say.
Sterile. It's sterile. That's what it is. It's sterile.
I love it. I still love what I do, but it's like there's so much of the creative that has died. And
What makes you think that? Like, why has it died? Do you think?
We've gotten people that are just like, in every business that has happened, they've given people titles because of budgets, but the people are not educated enough. Growing up, we would study fashion, but we would know the past. Right now, a lot of people don't know the past.
Got it.
They're not schooled enough. And I'm
Yeah.
not generalizing. I'm talking about a large percentage.
Yeah.
And that's just not in the fashion business. It's in every business. They have a title, but they don't know what they're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, dotting your eyes. It's
Yeah. Interesting. That is interesting. Do you feel, as being like a Cuban American, how have you utilized that as your superpower? And then have you seen the spaces as time gone on become more diverse behind the lens, or like in the makeup scenes and things like that? Or is it still the same struggles?
Back then when I was doing hair and makeup, the girls would get really happy. The black girls would be like, okay, great.
Yeah.
Because
I ain't gonna look ashy today.
I gotta look ashy, and the kitchen is gonna be right,
Baby.
the kitchen's gonna be right. So there's so much like that has changed. Foundations that we didn't have, all these things that were just not there. And it was so crazy back then because there was racism on every side. Because for the black magazines, you had to be this color black. For the and for the white ones, you have to be this color. So it was. And you still have it. I still feel it. Like I feel it from because I speak Spanish. I'm Latino. Okay. And I've been to places that I was at years ago at a Willie Smith dinner. It was a fundraiser and I'm with my friend who's Cuban as well. But baby, she's chocolate brown. Okay.
Yeah.
So across the table, this guy goes to me, "What are you doing here? You're Latino." And I'm like, "Okay, she's sitting next to me. If you saw my father and my aunts, you would not say that to her. But I'm gonna let you be ignorant."
Yeah.
Huh. So I literally was very lucky, you guys. I didn't have a lot of that. The other time that I had that was in Europe with a New Zealand person that said something, and I'm like, "Oh, you barking up the wrong tree," But so I feel myself very lucky. But have I seen it? Yes, I've seen it. But, But I think the
black girls were happy though when they saw him though.
Yeah, but you know what? And you still have things that they'll book because I have my friends, and it's like I can't believe they had a hairdresser that didn't know how to do my hair. and
that is so wild to me today. Like especially with so many people on social media that do hair tutorials, and it's like plug somebody off the interwebs and get them in here ASAP, please.
Yeah, right. So
that's wild.
You still have that every so often, and people need to, learn.
Yeah.
You've been an artist for such a long time and in a lot of different genres of expressing that. I'm curious, in today's environment and at this time in your career, what inspires you? Like, where do you pull inspiration from?
Yeah.
Life and people. Um, you need to surround yourself with a good core of people. And you have to be wary of people that drain. You know, you have to be very smart. And that happens by experience because it's like you might want to help so many people, but a lot of times you can't. I mean, because I've had people that have like, ooh, can I intern? Can I do this? And then all they really want to do is hang out and they don't want to learn and they want to like, and it's like, so you have to learn to be like, baby,
No.
keep your core tight. Keep your core tight. Help, but keep your core. I mean, and I see people that I have mentored and that are doing phenomenal, and that you know, it's like wow. But sometimes you get crazy ones that become stalkers,
Yeah.
and
You,
I'm
you,
not joking. You know,
you mentioned like when we were kind of talking earlier today that another passion of yours is just like your faith in God and things like that.
yeah.
How have
Well,
you been
that's
able to tap into that, like, to kind of make these sound decisions and things like that within your journey to still, like you said, be inspired today?
yeah. I pray, and people think that it's like life is a ball of cherries. It's not. You go through your hard periods, and it's for me. It's my faith that keeps me going. It's I know God's going to get me out of it, and if I messed up, I know God loves me. And I know He's going to get me out. And have I taken chances? Yes, I did. But I've learned from them. And you cannot be afraid to take chances, because you only live one life. And then if you don't take that chance, then you'll always regret it. You'll never know what happens, And listen, there's times that oh, maybe I should be calm, cool, collect. And then you also have to know when to say, it's time to be quiet and to see what God has for you and what doors open.
That
So my
discernment,
faith is
yeah.
something that's really strong, and I believe strongly in community, especially now more than ever, is helping community. I feel like a lot of people, whether Latinos or Black, they don't. It's more about, and I'm talking because I'm talking about us.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Instead of like, let's do this together. Oh, I got to do it for myself. And you know what? It's like if you can do it together and grow together and help one another, you're gonna shine. That's my belief. One of the things that I've always liked to do is things for children because they are our future. And
Come on, Whitney. Come
yeah,
on, Whitney.
right. And then just recently, I got involved with things with dementia because of my mom. So I believe that you have to give back, um, and you have to do things about things that bother you,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and use your talent and stuff, and share your talent.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, we're gonna have him back on because we need to get these skeletons that he been
Well,
dodging a little bit. But
well, so
uh,
okay, so where were we? What part of my career were we on?
well, you had just got to the photography,
Oh
and so we're
yeah.
gonna like
Oh,
tell us here. Tell us like the very first photo shoot you did. Were you nervous? Like, did you mess up, or you're like, oh, I got this. This is in the bag. And did you end up missing hair and makeup? Do you wish that person didn't put your name on the cover of the book?
At first, I was fearful because I had just gotten the loft. I needed to finish doing the loft. Okay. And it's like, I was like, how the hell am I going to finish this place? And it's like, damn. I just said, okay, it's time to go. It's time to do it. And work started coming in. I started doing editorials. I did this photo shoot at La Semana in St. Martin's. And it was part of the Orient Express hotels. And anything I wanted, they did. And I had like 7 models with me. I mean, I wanted a sailboat. I got a sailboat. I wanted a party at one of the villas. And I hated the pictures of the spa. So I said to the one male model and the female model, could you give me an hour and let's give them a gift? So we did some photos. I gave the photos to the PR people in New York. A week later, they said, could you give us pricing for you to come down and do our brochure? I've never done a brochure before, but I did it. Thank God. And then that opened up a whole travel thing because like, then I was going to Brazil and all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, you got to stay at the Copacabana. Boom. The PR people were like, the Brazilian tourist board was picking me up. I was invited to eat at Cipriani's at the Copacabana Palace several nights. I was invited to everywhere. So, one good gesture always opens up doors. And so
it almost honestly sounds too like, because a lot of times like people want to be overly ready for situations, like maybe overly think.
It's whatever God. Listen, anything that's happened in my career is God. Okay?
Yeah.
It's like, listen, I could try to, oh, it's me, baby. No, okay? Let me tell you, y'all know, God knows it was rough, and I did it, and I got some great clients, and so I had a huge place. And then towards the end, I was putting in runway lights because, that way I could sell for the runway shows more packages that are less expensive. And so right before COVID, the people from Sylvania light bulbs came in and they wanted to do something during Fashion Week. So I winded up producing it. And it was with from DMC and stuff. So it was like 3 weeks that they came in and then all of a sudden I started producing it. So then all of a sudden after Fashion Week, I'm like getting calls for like Bridal Week. I'm getting calls for Fashion Week in September, but all of a sudden COVID happens. And I'm like, oh shit, this is going to be a while. Okay, yeah. I am not holding on to the studio because it's going to be. So I gave up the studio. But like I said, kindness and being upright with people always works. So Sylvania all of a sudden says, well, we need content. Guess who did the content?
Isn't the place to be.
Baby,
pirouette.
You see how true wave technology lights me up. I mean, I'm a little bit pale, but this is true wave technology. And this is also Dania light bulbs that I designed the way to put it up so that it's nicely lit.
I love this because like it's just like literally it's just showing that a true creative can like you said earlier evolve to pivot and figure it out. Like you know, and that's what I was just trying to hint on. It's just like sometimes you don't know that you're ready, but you go figure that shit out. And, you have no choice, quite frankly. After a certain point, it's like
sometimes you're at you're at a really hard place, and you're like, "What am I going to do?"
Yeah,
and that's when you're like, "Okay, God." At least for me.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense because your social media, like in community, like, hold on, tout your social. Where can they find you first? Let's put that out there first before I say this.
My personal one is Ezequiel DelaRosa. Okay.
Mhm.
And you can find me right on Instagram.
I know that because his Instagram is very good, y'all.
Yeah.
Like I go down like
Yes.
rabbit holes.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, now is okay.
Well,
So
it's so funny because before we wouldn't post anything because it was like all supposed to be secret. Now it's like you got to post, you know. And now the funny thing is, you know, I got people like, ooh, you know, sending me creams, sending me like child. I'm like, you know, yeah. So all of a sudden now it's like, baby, it's skincare, it's spot treatment, and it's like, you know, anything to make the money.
I
Okay.
get it.
So
I
it's
get
like
it.
I am trying, and the one thing that I don't do, I will not recommend something I don't believe
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
in. You know, you could try to pay me, but if I don't believe in it, I can't do it because I don't want to
Yeah.
lie to somebody.
Mhm.
That part.
You know, and it's always great when somebody asks you to promote something, and then you try it, and it's like, okay, I can do this. How
Yeah.
much?
Pay
You
me
know,
what you owe me.
because you know,
All right. So, well, every episode we do a segment called Curiosity, and I feel like we've gotten to know you quite well, but we're gonna get to know you even on a deeper and just different
Yes.
level as well.
okay.
So it's either like these this or that, best of favorites, and here we go. Digital or film?
I was film, um, and I'm so glad that I had the education of film because you know I had to go to the lab, and that's why I thought it was so like what a
Monotonous.
job, you know, because you
Yeah.
have to go to the lab after you had, and I would always test out the film, and that I would always wind up running it normal because it was good. Um, and I think that that's made digital easier for me,
Mm.
you
Okay.
know,
Okay. Yeah.
and I like digital. I think it's like I don't want to go to the lab. I'm a, you know,
It's like, let me be
but
done.
but the one thing that I detest is when somebody takes a picture and says, "Wait until you see it after post."
Mm,
It's not a photo anymore.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that you're just painting. You know,
Mm.
Ooh,
I
that's a word.
I like to show my photos from the camera, and there it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Okay. Now he says, stunting on these people that can't do it. No, just fair. Milan or Paris?
ragazzi, guarda, Parigi è bellissimo, però penso che je pense que j'adore Italia.
Really?
I love Paris,
Uh huh.
um, and I
But
But you love Italy.
but
you're
I
right.
but, you know,
It's the menses, ain't it? It's the menses in Italy, ain't it?
well,
Girl, it is for me.
voglio bene sai, quanto tanto bene sai.
I know that's right. It's the menses, man. It does it every time. I get it. Bruce Weber or her Brits?
Albert Watson,
Oh,
because I
got
love
it.
her. I love her Ritz, and I
Got it.
love Bruce Weber.
But he
But
said,
baby, that was like asking me a question of who like was my favorite. It's Albert. I love Albert Watson's work.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm here for it. Do you have a favorite camera to shoot with?
Well, for those of you out there that want to endorse me, you
I
can
know that's right.
use this camera, okay? Because it's the eye, baby. I
I know
just
that's
have to
right.
look. But I have to be truthful. I am a Canon guy.
Okay.
I
Okay.
love Canon, and
Mm.
Okay.
and I'm used to working with it.
Okay. PB&J or a turkey sandwich?
What's PB&J?
peanut butter and jelly?
Oh, hell no.
Oh,
Hell no.
She
No,
was offended.
child.
She was
No.
offended.
No. Just give me a turkey sandwich.
She said the
we don't do that
ghetto.
PBJ.
She
Right,
said the
so-
ghetto. Ooh,
Let's go find you a home. girl, get your shoes on. I know that's right. Coming to the stage is Ezequiel DelaRosa. What song is playing?
Oh. That is a good question.
What's the vibe? What's the vibe
what
like?
you walking out to?
Baby. Respect.
ooh, respect.
I know that's right.
Just a little
Take
bit.
care, take care, TCB. I know that is right. What's the last song you played on your phone?
Last song I played on my phone.
Yeah, put it on up. What? And actually, you know what? We're gonna do the other two aunties too. What's the last song on everybody's phone? Let's see here. I don't know what the last song.
No, you
Oh,
won't be
wait.
my shit.
Oh, I know what song because I was listening to it on the train today. Mine is I'm gonna just show it. I love this song.
Mhm.
When I Grow Up by the Pussycat Dolls.
I love that song. Oh wait,
That's a
wait,
good
wait.
one.
Wait, but I'm gonna put the song that. Okay. When like, you ready for this?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You better work, bitch.
Shantae, you
that's
stay.
right.
I know
You know
that's
when you
right.
wake up and you're like, "Ooh, I'm tired."
You just need that pick me up.
And a Maserati, you better work.
I know
That's
that's right.
literally
That's
in
a
my
word.
gym playlist in the morning because I go to the gym at like 6 a.m. And that is literally on my playlist. I'll be sitting, I'm going to go ahead and squat. I'm
Come
about
on,
to squat
Brittany.
this. You better
Work
work, bitch.
I know that's right.
Yes.
That's funny.
What's on yours, Jarrell?
Mine was actually Safety Net by Ponytail herself, Miss Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that was the last song that I was just listening to.
Did you like her
On shuffle.
extended version of her album?
I did like the extended version.
Okay.
I
That's pretty
did.
good.
I
That's pretty
did.
good.
Yeah. Now I'm listening to the whole album all over again.
I know, right? And Dewan, what was on yours?
I'm on a deep house like kick. So the last song that I played was "Down the Drain" by Nagelic and Dan the Z. I don't know
who
them,
that
but
is,
it's the last thing that I
But
played.
it played.
Yeah, Dewan be having them vibe lists in his crib, so he.
I
I
don't
don't know
know
who it is,
any
but
of
it
the-
fit the
I don't know.
vibe.
I don't know any of the songs. I don't know any of the singers. I just want the vibe. That's all.
I know that's right. On that same vein, then, is there a go-to song when you're shooting that you just know works every time? That you're like, I'm going to get the shot that I want if I put this song on.
Well, it depends who I'm shooting. Because you got to remember, I'm working from 14-year-olds to like
Yeah.
my age
Yeah.
or maybe older.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it all depends on who I'm working with.
Okay. Do you have like a
'Cause maybe there's times that
go-to?
I have to put a Taylor Swift, and there's times that I got to put Tina Turner, which I love.
We don't need another hero. That song will get me every
Yeah.
time. I love that one. Okay. Let's see here. A couple more here. Chrissy Turlington or Linda Evangelista.
Christy.
Ooh, okay. Veronica Webb or Tyra Banks.
You're going to get me in trouble. You're going to get me in trouble. I love them both.
Absolutely. I know, but it doesn't mean you don't love them if you pick the other one.
No, I love them both. Quite honestly.
Okay.
We call that a Corel answer, and we will.
That is a Corel answer. That's all
Thank
I
you
was
very
saying.
much. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Love them equally. Thank you. Best spot in New York for Cuban food.
You got to go to New Jersey, baby.
You gotta go to Jersey.
You got to go to
over that bridge,
Jersey.
that
I'm
tunnel.
serious because, and I can tell you where to go. I got a couple places in Jersey.
Okay.
The food is out of control and inexpensive.
Okay. Okay. So Jersey it is. You mentioned that your dad was like a musician or could like play anything, and I saw a post that you were mentioning about the piano that you have of his. Was there a song that he used to play on that piano that you loved?
My father would write songs. Literally, he was very talented. He's written so many songs. I can't put one
Yeah.
in my head right now.
Yeah.
But he was so talented. I mean,
Yeah.
amazingly. I didn't, you don't, sometimes you don't appreciate people when they're around as much,
Mhm.
and you don't realize their achievements until later on when you get older.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Aw.
but his music is amazing. But my nephew, Joe, there's been a couple of songs that I'm like, damn.
It's like, that's good.
No, and
It's like, you better work, bitch.
I tell him, like, you got to write more lyrics, but the sound is fire. Your voice is fire. And he has the sound of my father
Mm.
in it. And it's like, but then he's got this like lazy type of, I don't know how to explain it. It's really good.
Yeah. Aw. I
Okay.
love how your face lit up about that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this just based on the conversation, but beach or mountains?
Yo, the hills are alive.
Oh.
Give me the beach, baby. Give me the beach. I'm a beach person.
Yeah.
You ain't
I
gonna
hear
see me
you.
skiing.
He said, no, ma'am.
No, baby.
It's going to be water skiing.
Yeah. No snow skiing, baby.
Do you have a Mount Rushmore of models?
Yes,
And that's 4.
Yes, I'm very fortunate that they're good friends of mine, and I'm not gonna mention names.
She got to protect.
But
her
they know who
boys.
they are.
They know who they are.
And I'm fortunate to work with them, and that
Yes.
they trust me with their image, and
We'll leave it there.
there.
Is there a
I'm going to give you one.
Okay, yes.
Carol, who's a really dear friend of mine. Okay,
Gotcha.
and then the other ones, they know who they are.
Okay, I love it. Is there a particular photo you're most proud of that when you see it, you're like, I shot the shit out of that photo? Like everything aligned perfectly, executed exactly how I envisioned it. Is there one or two out there that you're like, that's the one?
There are several, and I'm like, it's funny because this is a good question. The funny thing is that you know how some people are like, they look at their work and it's fabulous. I love it. Now, sometimes I when I just finish working and I'm like, I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I look back and like, wow, I did that.
Yeah.
But it takes me a while.
Yeah.
It's like I'm very critical. And I see everything. So it's like it's not like it's like when I mentor somebody, it's like they know that I'm critical with myself, but I'm critical with them, and I tell them the honest to God truth.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that being a photographer is just clicking the camera, and it's not. You have to know how to, at least the type of photography that I do, I have to draw emotion. I have to teach them how to move. As a matter of fact, I that's one of the other things that I do. I teach people how to move, especially nowadays because we need it.
He says stiff where? Nowhere. All right, two more. Let's see here. Your favorite pair of eyeglasses, because I've been looking at all your eyeglasses too in these on the social media. I'm like, I want every damn pair.
Well, I'm sort of spoiled because I think I have over like 400 pairs of glasses.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't pay for them. They send them to me.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I'm a
Yes, I know that's right. Wait, that's like what is that? Is it Martin? He's like, because I'm a lady. Oh no, it's Wanda. Jamie Foxx.
So there's so many of them that I love.
Or is there one that you kind of naturally gravitate towards? Is it an aviator? Is it a wire frame?
Well,
Is it a
the last couple of years is very aviator type and stuff. Like, I was wearing David Beckham, which were really cool. Now
I want to wear David Beckham too.
And these are actually Carrera. I love YSL. Who else was a Bottega? Was it Bottega or was it? It's like I would have to look. Dior's are great.
You said too many to know.
Like,
he said I like them all, and that's why I wear them.
Closet, and I want to build this on top of this dresser. I want to build like an eyewear thing so that I could just have them all display.
Yeah. And the last one here, Beyonce or Janet?
Baby, there's no question. What do you think?
You let us know. We don't know.
Miss Jackson.
I know that. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's what we usually say too.
Yeah,
Even though I mean this is a Beyonce podcast, but we always say Janet because it probably would have been a Janet podcast if Beyonce didn't come along.
I mean,
she came first, so
I danced to too many songs.
Yeah.
Janet, and and that's one of my go-tos.
Yeah. I'm loving that somebody called my lover is having a moment right now on social media.
Yes.
Loving that that's having a moment. I'm like, come on, put some respect on Miss Jackson's name, please. Please.
Yeah.
Well, Ezequiel DelaRosa, we're gonna have to have you come back because you have stories for days, and we're so.
I got other stories to tell you.
So we're gonna need to go. We're gonna have to have you back for sure.
But before that happens, we're gonna have those stories being told to us over some cocktails, where we can get the full story, not the
that part.
not the
right, not the podcast version.
Right.
Let's do it. Let's meet up for cocktails.
Absolutely, some drinks, some dinner, and for sure, absolutely. But again, remind folks where to find you. Anything else you want to tout and things like that.
At Ezequiel DelaRosa, and get ready because I'm see, we didn't get to talk on this. You're gonna love. I'm getting ready to do a YouTube channel. Y va a estar caliente.
Yeah,
really?
Okay.
Yeah,
what's it going to be about?
Yeah.
Who's going to be about the things that I love,
like
cooking,
oh,
like getting hot in the kitchen.
Okay.
It's it's going to be a lot of things. It's going to be.
You're going to have to invite us on, cook us a meal, and we'll do an episode with you.
Well, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm going to restaurants.
Okay.
And I'll try the food, and then I'll go in the kitchen and cook with the chef and learn something. But then I'm also making a healthier version of it at home.
Okay.
So I
want to be on that episode because I'm still trying to watch this waistline.
I actually just did one that I went to like a really small place in Brooklyn, and it is like comfort breakfast and lunch, and it's a small place, and I wanted to kill them. Child, they
It
had
was that good.
they seriously. I'm like, how am I gonna make this shit healthy? It is so.
You know, sometimes things don't need to be healthy. It is
Sometimes
what
you
it
just
is.
gotta give in.
No,
to
no,
the
no. But I'm
universe.
That.
listen. No, no. Listen. I take the challenge. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do it. It's a place called. If you're ever in Brooklyn,
Uh-huh.
you got to go to. Oh boy, it's a small little
boy.
place.
Mm.
Oh, boy.
Child, they have
boy.
a gritty, and I challenged the chef, and I said, "Well, I'm going to make an easy gritty, which is going to be healthy."
Okay.
But child, and it's simple. It's like the bun is like pancakes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then it's like these eggs like that are like so fluffy. Then it's like Canadian bacon, and then their secret sauce. It's over. And their burger, oh, child.
Okay, so you know both make me hungry. Okay,
So
yes.
I'm serious, but it's like, and I'm like, I've got to lose like 20 pounds, right?
Not eating like
You
this.
said this episode gonna come out in the fall.
Well, I mean, it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out. I'm working on the whole strategy. Now, trust me, I have to go to so many different restaurants.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I just gotta watch my mouth. So
That's what they that's what they say to me too.
Well,
Watch your damn mouth.
a lot of
So,
cardio.
Yeah, I hear you on that. But we appreciate you and honestly, like this podcast is about showing the spectrum of what we do, and so that we haven't touched on this like photography and fashion world yet. So I was excited to have you on, and it lived up to everything because you cracked me up, and you've had many a life,
Yes.
many a job, and it's everything. It's everything. So
Well, guys,
so
if you're looking out there, just follow me on Instagram, Ezequiel DelaRosa,
yes.
at Ezequiel DelaRosa, and you can follow what I
And it's
do.
a good account. I'm telling you, I'll be like, damn, he in Greece today. Damn, okay. And before we get out of here, too, shout out to Cory Booker for being on that damn floor for over 24 hours.
Yeah.
Not my ministry, but I'm here that it's his because people need to speak up that are in power about the craziness that is out there right now. Yeah, it's wild. And again, this is an LGBT QIA plus podcast. So we're here for our trans community. We're speaking up for you. We are showing out for you because they are trying to make your life a living hell. And it's ridiculous for no damn reason. So you have a space here with us always. So anything else in your hearts and minds before we get out of here? Dewan, Jarrell, Ezequiel.
No.
Our 6th anniversary is coming up.
This show is April 15th at 8:30 p.m. live. We'll be
Eastern.
live.
That's 8:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Eastern. So please put that on your calendar. Bring your wigs, bring your questions.
Yes.
We'll probably have a few games. We'll try to lock down a few maybe special guests that hop in. We'll see. It'd be hard during the work week.
Honey.
But we'll try to lock those in. But at minimum, community, we want to see you there and with all your questions and things like that. And yeah, we appreciate you for helping us make it to 6 years of this podcast, which is wild.
Wow,
See.
amazing.
It's
Old
wild. I know, right? Just a little bit. But until next week, community, wash your hands, your legs, and your ass, and we will see you then. Bye.
God bless.
Bye.